Gonna rest, gonna rest. Our jobs and cycle. Terrible day. Let's get some of that good money. Let's get some of that good money. So nothing's going on there. We have a contract to do, right? Ah, that's right. I think I was gonna go to the contract. Let me see. Let me see if I get lucky here. Beautiful. All right. So the plan is to do this contract. I think I've got engineer. Hold on, let me look at this. Let me look at this properly. So I have engineer and endure, and it's the diamond that I want to cover. It's pretty much the diamond that I want to cover. So I need me some bliss. Junie, take a little break. You can deal with more stress too. Travel to contract. I think when their stress bars fill up, they just don't roll any dice anymore. That's what I think. Not sure. Pretty full. Okay, Kirk. Decent day. The headstream looms large in the cockpit windows as it comes to a stop. I can't believe you talked me into this, Seraphin sighs. This is not a good plan. Convincing Seraphin to take Kirk out to this low-tech freighter wasn't exactly easy, but with the pit head on lockdown, there really weren't any other options. A voice crackles over Seraphin's terminal, loud enough to hear but quiet enough that you can't pick out what's being said. Stay silent. You risk the urge to ask. The tension in the cockpit is palpable, all of you aware that this ruse could fall apart any moment. Seraphin. You look behind you to see Kirk, floating by the doorway. You keep them talking, alright? Seraphin flicks the comm switch and begins speaking to the low-tech ship, thanking them for responding to the distress signal. Trying his best to play the part of the nervous trader suffering an engine failure in the debris field. Kirk jerks his head for you to follow him into the corridor, and you unclip from your seat and float out behind him. It's okay with you. I'm going to play the captain on this one. Fine by me. His flat stare suggests he isn't asking for permission. Fine by me. Kirk nods. I appreciate it. Let me tell you how this is going to go. He gets moving down towards the airlock, and you follow as he talks. The headstream has been holding here, cycle after cycle, while Wellspring tried to quash our little rebellion. He smiles at the idea. Now the blockade is in effect. Well, they'll know they have to hold out for longer still, while the messages from low-tech operations get less and less frequent. He stops by the lockers, swapping his low-tech uniform for an old flight jacket. This is a ship full of tired, unhappy, underpaid, and underfed workers. You both arrive at the airlock. We just have to nudge their anger in the right direction. There is a hiss as the airlock cycles. Low-tech are coming aboard. Kirk catches your eye and gives you a wink. Lambert, cold low-tech captain. Sheesh. The airlock doors scissor open, revealing a drained-looking low-tech captain, flanked by security officers. Lambert, captain of the Headstream, he presents himself immediately, but with little enthusiasm. We have been in communication with your pilot, and are docking, as requested, to provide support. He looks between you and Kirk, his eyes lingering on you a little too long, no doubt taking in the strange vinyl skin, dark glowing eyes, and doe-like face of your frame. He directs his attention to Kirk. How fares your crew? Thank you, Captain. You notice the immediate change in Kirk, his deflated posture and softer speech. We are surviving as best we can, but now that you have come to our rescue, he sighs and holds out an eager hand to Lambert. We are very grateful indeed. Lambert limply shakes Kirk's hand. Not to worry, the low-tech syndicate takes its stewardship of Wellspring and the surrounding environs seriously. It is our duty to offer aid to traders and travelers alike. Environs. The area surrounding a place, especially a town.
Environs.
I'm afraid we don't have much to offer by the way of supplies. Our stores have been depleted by our long posting here, but your crew is free to enter our ship and make use of its facilities while you make your repairs. Kirk continues playing the submissive captain, nodding enthusiastically and uttering a stream of thank yous. You feel like he's pushing it a little, though Lambert only seems to be paying the minimum of attention to him. Suddenly, he turns a sharp eye to you. Your pilot didn't mention you had a sleeper aboard. Stay silent. Kirk quickly responds. Apologies. They are such a good worker, and quiet too. We sometimes forget they are even there. Perhaps, if your ship is in need of maintenance, you can borrow them for a few cycles. Lambert eyes you more brazenly now, taking Kirk's lead as permission to indulge his curiosity. Yes, his eyes trace a tear in the thick skin of your forearm. Perhaps it could be of use to us. Kirk smiles. I will send them to speak with your crew. I am sure they can direct the sleeper to appropriate tasks. Oh, they'd love that. Lambert jokes. They are a work-shy bunch, this lot. I'm sure they'd be eager for a slave. The word sets you on edge. Stay silent. We are happy to serve, Kirk bows. After all, we owe you our safety. Very good. Lambert seems suddenly bored or tired, or perhaps both. Tell your crew they are free to cross the docking tunnel then. He pauses, but remind them that no funny business will be tolerated. He smiles a sharp smile. I have matters to attend to. Lambert turns. See you later, Captain. And with that, Lambert heads back down the tunnel, still flanked by his two silent security officers. Kirk waits until he is out of sight to turn to you. Good. He lets out a breath. Well held, Sleeper. I thought from the look in your eye you were going to knock him out. He chuckles. I'd love to. I bet. Kirk stares down the corridor, but don't you worry. We are going to pay him back for all that very soon. Kirk squeezes your shoulder. Shall we go meet this crew? See what their opinions are on Lotek's administration. He smiles broadly. With a captain like that, I doubt they'll be very positive. Alright, we're not stressed yet. Security lockdown. Oof. Engine room, navigation control, payload ops. Good on that one. Navigation control. It's kind of rough. Okay. Engine room. Kinda good here. Sabotage engines, holy sheesh. What do we want to do first? Navigation control, payload ops. Discuss the war. Celtic are trying to profit from the war and their monopoly on water. The cargo crews just need some encouragement to see it. Tamper with payload. A leak in payload means the cargo crew will be on edge all cycle. Just don't get caught messing with the tanks. Let's do this one because I'm good at it. I don't want to accrue any stress. I think I should use my 6 here. The crew suspect debris damage rather than your crew when a new leak springs. They are sick of patch jobs. Tempers rise at the mention of the war. The cargo crew aren't happy about Lotek's actions. That did the same thing. What's this? Headstream mutiny. Turning each section of the crew against the captain is the job, and it isn't going to be an easy one. Alright, so this is, when I do all of this, this one is going to go up. So I need to do it everywhere. Makes sense, makes sense. And he gets to do this too. Let me take this one. Lotek is coming unstuck. Let's find something for Bliss. Bliss ain't really got it today, man. Engine room. Danger. Risky. Let's do this one then. Debate Wellspring. Firing up the torch. The situation on Wellspring is untenable. You just need to get the nav techs to realize that on their own. What you need a torch for that for? Yeah, we do this. We smashed it. The techs discuss what they might do to change things within the syndicate. The seeds are planted. I am manipulative. I don't want to, what did I choose again? Push affects both crew dice. Don't think I want to accrue any stress just yet. It's too early for that. And, gonna go ahead and risk this cycle. Good dice, please. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I can make use. Maybe I do a little bit of risky business here. Maybe I do a little bit of risky business here. Looks like a plan, Sleeper. Lotek is coming unstuck. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk it. Stress is really annoying. Woo! The tension in the headstream has risen beyond the point of no return. Yeah. Ever since you guys got here, shit's been going crazy. Think I'm gonna risk this. Hope Seraphim saw that. The techs discuss what they might do to change things within the syndicate. The seeds are planted. And I think I rest here for sure. I could get a really good day here. Woo! This might even be a push day too. A little stress never hurt no water. This might be a little push day too. Push, I'm gonna +3, so I'll get 4, 5, 4. This might be a push day. Do we have any pluses? Not for them. I think we're gonna push here. I think that's the best choice. Falsified data. False data in the system will lead to frustration and mistakes in the bridge text. If you can plant it without being seen, yes I can. Glitches in the navigation system mean extra work for the techs. They grumble as they fix the system. Yo! Ah? Wait. Did I put in the wrong dice? Oh, it wasn't a 6, was it? But I didn't get stress, and that's all I care about. Turn in each section of the crew against their captain. Right, I'm doing this one. Jeez. Maybe I do this. The techs have to reboot the navigation system. The errors they are seeing are suspicious. Please. Nice. Many of the techs have friends trapped in low-tech contracts. They discuss how unfair they are. I don't push. I push tomorrow for sure though. Crisis. Oh no. The Headstream crew has started sending updates on the growing tensions to Wellspring. This is trouble. Cutting the ship's comms is a drastic move, but if they get word of a mutiny out to Wellspring, you are in trouble. And that is I can rest still, right? Yeah, it's fine. I might even be able to ignore that. Look at the shit dice though. We're gonna push. I can just finish this one now. It's gonna give me a little bit of stress. I'll do the job, no problem. Oh, good. The tension in the headstream has risen beyond the point of no return. And as for this one, Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that myself. Or maybe I should try and do this myself. Nice. Damaging the array's delicate tuning mechanisms means more interference with each cycle. One more. Ah. It's unfortunate. Let's do this. Just need one. The comms go dead. You hope you won't need them later. Sheesh. That was unavoidable, man. Alright, I better use his criticized contracts. The engine room crews are always the worst paid. A little bit of contract discussion should spread discontent. This is why we're here. The engine room crew start comparing contract terms and find many are paid unfairly. I think this is okay to risk. Oh, I'm getting lucky. This ship is ours. The engine room crew start comparing contracts. Right. Yup. And I'm gonna rest here. Best decision. Cycle. I might lose a dice. Be very unlucky if I do. Okay. Right. Pushing here would be good for our guy here. That's double six. Double sixer. Let me go ahead and do this. Go ahead and do this. An overheat warning in this reactor means cycles of diagnostics. The crew are frustrated. What does that usually say? I think I'll risk it with him. It'll be stress on the ship though, so maybe I'll do shit. Maybe I'll try this. Nothing spreads discontent more than malfunctioning engines, but you'll have to be subtle in your sabotage. I think I'll do this. Boy. Yeah, let's do him too. Let me take this one. Doing good. Looks like a plan, sleeper. Ooh, maybe I will risk this for the biscuit. Cool. The tension in the headstream has risen beyond the point of no return. Kirk rushes into the bay you are crossing. It's all kicking off, sleeper. A wild glee is in his eyes. Lambert's lost control. He guides you through the headstream, a ship you have become surprisingly familiar with over the past few cycles. Perhaps it is the influence of getting to know the crew and their complaints around Lambert and the Syndicate, but its twisting corridors, thick pipes, and cold metal have taken on an oppressive feel cycle by cycle, hour by hour. Now, as the shouts of conflict echo down the corridor ahead, where a room glows with the warm light of the galley, you feel that oppressive pull being scraped away. Oppressive how? Yo. A thick
Paul.
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 Paul. A thick, dark cloud of smoke. Okay. Where is that again? You feel that oppressive pull being scraped away, replaced with some new and exciting quality. Enough, Lambert shouts, echoes like a shot as you enter the crowded galley. From what you can tell, more than half the crew have crowded into this space and are clumped around, some perched on the side units. I order you to return to your stations. Lambert floats slightly above the crowd, his hands held up in a gesture of futile calming or nervous surrender. You see him glance over his shoulder, and tracing his view, you see security officers tensely gathered at the back of the room. Approach them. A heavy hand you know is Kirk's pulls on your shoulder as you try to move through the crowd. Just wait, Kirk winks, and you turn to see security moving through the crowd. If you will not retreat willingly, I will have no other choice than to use force. Lambert's voice breaks with anger. Disperse! You watch as the guards form up behind Lambert, and then one moves forward and grabs him, forcing his arm behind his back. The act is met with a raucous cheer. It's like raucous, like raucous. Raucous cheer from the assembled crew, and a yelp from Lambert himself. It's like, ugh! He is forced through the crowd, who part and jeer, heading directly for the corridor from which you entered. When Lambert is close, Kirk nods to the security officer holding him, and they stop. This is where we get to slap him. Lambert looks up in confusion and stares directly into Kirk's grin. You are officially removed from duty as captain of the Headstream on the authority of the Wellspring Workers Alliance. Kirk's tone is direct and clipped. This is done with the authority of a majority ballot of your crew. Workers Alliance? Have you no authority? You're pirates. Lambert spits at Kirk. There'll be consequences. On that, we agree. Kirk nods to the security officers, and they wrench a struggling Lambert from the room. Kirk watches Lambert go, determination set in his heavy brow. I underestimated you. No. Hope this doesn't go to your head. What will happen to him? Lambert can enjoy the hospitality of his own brig. Kirk pats you on the back. We have a celebration to muster. The galley erupts in liberated joy, and soon drinks and food are passed around from a stash Lambert had been asking the quartermaster to keep back for his own use. You settle on a counter and look on as the crew celebrates. You watch as Kirk moves effortlessly through the room, giving and receiving thanks in equal measure. Despite his intimidating appearance, you see in him something softer coming to the surface, something reserved for those he has struggled alongside. Fresh allies are old friends to him. After the celebrations have died down, and the crew have retreated to make plans for supporting the blockade, holding out on what they have, Kirk approaches you. No toasting the victory, He offers you a transparent bag of ship-brewed moonshine. Refuse the drink. Kirk shrugs and pockets the bag. I think it's time we return to Wellspring. He looks off towards the last crew members leaving the room. We've done our job. You don't want to stay? Say the word. I'm just a pretend captain, Kirk smiles. That ship out there is yours to command, and everyone knows it. You suddenly notice how exhausted Kirk looks, his eyes dark and hooded. He looks down towards the scuffed floor. You did well here. He smiles weakly. You certainly stirred something up. He pauses. I don't want to overthink it. Lambert is right. Retaliation will come. He looks around the room. I hope they will be ready when it does. He sighs a heavy sigh. Kirk takes a deep breath and lets it out slow. The struggle goes on. He pushes off from the counter and heads towards the docking bridge. You take a moment before you follow, your mind drifting to the crew and the struggle they have. As you do, a small, perhaps unfair part of you thinks, well, that's life in the belt. We did it though, we did it. And not with too much stress. Leave. Back at the Wellspring. My dice, they don't look too bad. That's not the health, I mean. It's not too bad. The cut thrums with tension. This steaming city and its brash inhabitants have quietened, not to silence, but to a low rumble of conversation. The blockade is holding, the syndicate is waning, and everywhere there are plans to be made. You and Seraphin float idly in Chasm Row, many stories deep in this wound in Wellspring's side. Waiting on Kirk, not far from the first place you met, a maiden Seraphin still has lingering bruises from. Kirk is inside somewhere, and like every other Lotic contractor, he is making plans. Even before you arrived back in Wellspring, he had hijacked the rig's transmitter to speak with his fellow conspirators and make arrangements for his arrival. Watching Kirk's plot unfold made you realize that despite your involvement, in the end you are just a subsidiary part of this struggle, a chaotic outside actor with effect but no real influence. Now waiting for Kirk's return, you feel a little solace in that. You aren't ready to be dragged into another struggle, not yet. You still have your freedom to win, and looking at Seraphin next to you, you know that he does too. Alright, we're on. Kirk comes out of the passage nearby, nodding to the two of you to follow. He leads you both into the Rhine Market passageway. This time, not to the steaming market hall that lies beneath the deepest streets, but to a cramped room, walled with pipes and rusted panels. Just a little longer. He nods to you both. Hold here. He exchanges a serious look with you before pushing off and gliding back out of the room. You watch Kirk go, your relationship having settled into a quiet and mutual respect. His eyes are on bigger things now. Workers, councils, and contract negotiations. And you know that. Perhaps one cycle ahead, you'll find a moment to drink together once again and discuss everything that has happened. For now, Kirk has other things on his mind. Seraphin settles again. You shoot him a look, but his focus is elsewhere. His eyes glazed over. You fold your arms and wait. Sarah? Tala enters so quietly that, in the dim room, you barely notice her. She shoots you a look and a smile as she enters. Thank you, she mouths, silently, and then turns her attention to her brother. Tala! Seraphin says her name like a sigh, like an exhale. He is shaking his head, his eyes already shining with uncontrollable emotion. She rushes across the room, flying into Seraphine at speed. They embrace, softly spinning in the dust and dark, their fingers dug into each other's backs. They separate, a couple of pristine spheres of briny tears spinning away through the air as they do. You're safe, Seraphine nods, taking a breath. I'm safe. She smiles reassuringly, settling him. And in this settling, this gesture of care, you see a whole network of signs and secrets. Tala is the calm to Seraphine's storm, the big sister who eases his heart. She looks him up and down. You are so big, Sarah. She laughs at her own statement. You've grown up. She tries to make it sound approving rather than patronizing. You're the same, sister. Seraphine shakes his head, calling me big but making me feel small. The moment the statement leaves his lips, you feel a chill in the room, and you aren't sure if he meant it. Tala flinches a little, hurt but not wanting to show it. I came to find you, Tala tries again. I needed to find you. Seraphine looks torn, and you see him. And you see in him something you have come to recognize, the slow and careful raising of his defenses. Why now? He looks away. It's been a long time, Tala. Mom and Dad finally decide they want me to come home. A ripple of emotion runs through Tala, one she can't hide. Sarah, after you left, they're gone. She sighs. I thought you would have. She struggles to find the words. It's been a long time. It has. Seraphine sets his face into a stern look of control, but you know he is raging inside. And in this moment, you feel closer to him than you have felt in a while. Tala folds her arms, trying to regain a little control of the exchange. It's good to see you, Sarah. So good. You know what is coming, and you see Seraphine brace for it too. But I can't leave with you. She looks pained. This isn't easy for her either. Seraphine can only nod, a dulling acceptance washing over him. I wanted to find you, and I have. And I can see you are strong and well, and she shoots you a glance. You have your life here. But the people here, the other contractors, they were the ones who found me, who have kept me going since I ended up here. Desperate and alone, she smiles warmly. It's not that I owe them, it's that they are my family, too. She gently places a hand on his shoulder. I know you understand this. She smiles at you. We all find our families out here. Seraphine smiles a rare smile, his eyes wet. We do, sister. He embraces her again. They separate, and Tala turns her attention to you. I know you'll take care of my brother, Sleeper. She smiles. I saw it in your eyes when you came to the pit head. She approaches and puts a hand on your shoulder. I can see you are building something of value on that ship of yours. I hope so. She nods and takes her hand away. She folds her arms again, her sense of control returning. There is a wisdom and experience to Tala that brings a certain calm to you, and you feel that now. Will you two be staying here for a while, or? Tala looks between you and Seraphine. Seraphine cuts in before you can answer. Not long, he smiles. We have our own freedom to find. Tala nods. Just be aware, you're free to pass the blockade. But after that, she says, Wellspring is going to be locked down for a little while, at least until Kirk can establish his council. Next time you come, She smiles proudly. This will be a very different place. Hearing Tala say this, you suddenly see the authority in her and realize that one of those council seats may well have her name on it. You look between the two of them and realize they have years to catch up on, and they'd probably rather do that without you watching. You nod to them and slip out of the room, a lifting conversation starting up the moment you leave. As you follow the twisting corridors back to the Chasm Row, you smile to yourself at the thought of Tala and Seraphim, reunited at last. You hope this whole adventure will make Seraphim a little less moody, even though you know, deep down, it'll probably make him worse. Later in the cycle, Seraphim quietly comes back to the rig. He immediately settles himself in the cockpit and starts running diagnostics on the engines. He looks up as you enter and shoots you a smile. Good to see you up here, sleeper. I'm getting her ready to head out. Ready to go? Well, how are you doing? I'm good, sleeper. Really good. He flicks a sequence of switches. Sleeper? Seraphim turns to face you. Thank you. He smiles. I appreciate you bringing us all the way out here. I won't forget it. Will Tala be okay? She's found a place here, and I'm really happy for her. He looks away, out of the cockpit windows at Wellspring. She always was the responsible one, and I was always the one running away. I guess some things never change. Seraphim quietly watches the diagnostics complete, a subtle smile on his lips. One thing is for sure, we've been here too long. Seraphim meets your eye, and we've been seen by too many people. Wellspring may be far out of Utsubo territory, but I am sure Lane will find a way to reach his nasty claws out here, given enough time. Let's not give him the chance. Hey guys, Bliss's voice echoes up the passage into the cockpit. They lean in the door, looking between the two of you. 2 contractors just dumped a load of fuel outside our ship. Said it was a gift. Yo, is it gonna... You and Seraphim look at each other. Got to be Kirk. Seraphim gets up. It's either a thank you or his way of telling us to get going. Seraphim kicks off and glides out of the cockpit. Hey, so... Bliss smiles. While you two have been busy, so have I. Been looking at the rig's drive, and I reckon it's due an upgrade. We'll need engine components, quite a few, so keep an eye out. Bliss shrugs. Shipyards tend to be a good place to look. Shipyards. Got it. Right, Bliss sighs. Better go help Seraphim with that fuel. As Bliss leaves the cockpit, you find yourself lost in thought, considering your next step while the icy expanse of Wellspring glitters below. You are free to leave Wellspring. You now have a HazNav unit installed. You can freely travel through debris fields on the belt map. Okay. Let's eat. There's an acid bite and an earthly warmth to the thick red liquid. It staves off the Wellspring cold pretty well. So, rig engine? Are we good on that? We're good. To increase the ship's range, the engine will need an overhaul to squeeze more power out of the turbines. That means new components. This carefully slots the components into the prepared drive. The engine is improved as much as you are able to. That's right. I definitely should get money. Oh, we can do 15 now. Sheesh. Let's splurge a little bit. Fuel. It's cheap here. It's super cheap here. What? Is there anything we can do? No. Rhyme market, hidden black market. Buy scrap components. It's a one-time thing. The scrap components are bundled up in nets, most of them corroded beyond use, but with a careful eye, some good ones can be picked out. You pick out some good, clean, useful-looking components and hand over the cryo. Did I just get one? Did. And I can do that many times. For emergencies. I still got a lot of money. And I'm gonna make some more money. Yeah, we'll leave it as that. And I got 2 points. We're obviously waiting for 4. Map. Belt. So we can go through. Sheesh, Holmes Rock. Meet cadet at the scatter yards. Can we go straight there? 16. Where are we going now? Over here. 16. Okay. I can't remember where. I did write some stuff down actually. Is Lane able to find us? I should probably buy some more scrap, just 2 more. Money making is pretty good here, but not the easiest. What is this? 13 cryo. I think that's kind of the same as a spindle. I get 14 cryo. Scrap and money at Flotsam Integrator offices. Maybe we go back to Flotsam for a bit. Do that. The rig glides safely through a debris cloud. The cockpit empty apart from you and Seraphine. So Sleeper, I've been thinking. Seraphine gives you a sly look over his shoulder. I've been thinking. I'm sick of running. Me too. I mean, even if we want to keep going the way we have been, we've run out of belt. Beyond Wellspring, it's mostly rocks and emaciated scavengers. And, well, I'm a city boy at heart. But not only that, Seraphine meets your eye. We've been building something here, Sleeper. The crew, the ship. He smiles. Hell, we just got this Nav suit for free. He thumps the new unit on top of his flight console. What I'm asking is, how do you feel about taking Lane on? You want to go to war with Subo? Not war, he smiles, but something else. You've seen what's happening in Wellspring, what Tyler's doing. He shakes his head. Kirk is a fool, but he's onto something. Get on the inside, organize, undermine, that I can get on board with. It sounds risky. I'm sure it is, Seraphine smiles. He's enjoying this. Just think about it, Sleeper. We find a way back onto Darkside quietly. We make some connections. We start something running. He turns back to his console. It'd be one hell of a thing. Itsubo are ruthless. The way they run Darkside, there's got to be plenty of people fed up with them. Seraphine shrugs, and they've gotten worse under Lane. Worse since they pushed the other gangs out. You smile and shake your head at how fast Seraphim can bounce back when he wants to, and as you do, you can't help but consider his plan. Look, maybe it's crazy, but we need a safe harbor either way. I've got a connection in the scatter yards. He'll tuck us away, keep us quiet from everyone. You see Seraphim has his coin in his hand and is turning it over between his fingers as he speaks. If we want, maybe he can help us get into Darkside. But even if we don't, it's a good place to rest up and make a plan. He turns back to the consoles to deal with a rapid beep from the new HasNav unit. The scatter yards. You've heard of them. They have a reputation as a fiercely independent set of shipyards, just steward of Darkside. A hiding place right under Lane's nose. If you've got things to do elsewhere first, go ahead. But the moment we are back in the wash, Lane will be looking out for us. Seraphim turns his focus to piloting the ship. As you watch debris flit past the ship, you turn your focus to what's ahead. I saw it. Seraphim comes charging into the bunks. I actually saw it. He is wild-eyed, and his breath is ragged. So what? Seraphim takes a moment to catch his breath, suddenly aware of how frantic he sounds. He squints at you. Have you noticed how supplies have been going missing? Every so often, when we travel? I have. Yo! Oh no, we didn't get any more supplies. You suddenly recall the mysterious mess that was left behind in supply storage. Seraphim sees the flicker of recognition in your eyes. So after it happened a couple of times, I decided to keep an eye on our supply store. Seraphim lowers his voice. You know, check it from time to time. It's the cat. It's probably the black cat, yo. Oh, I don't know. You know, check it from time to time. And just this cycle, I drifted down there, really quiet, and he leans in, and whoosh, something flew past me. He shakes his head, knocked me right into the wall. Something? I don't know. It came at me fast, some kind of creature. Seraphim says the last word with emphasis. Is there really a creature loose on the ship? You look around the berth, suddenly aware that something could be hiding nearby, tucked into the vents, perhaps. We knew this thing liked supplies, right? Seraphim is also glancing around for hiding places. So we locked them down tighter. Keep it out. That way, it'll get desperate. And then, Seraphim raises a finger. It'll make a mistake. What are you talking about? Bliss leans in from the corridor. I can hear you all the way in the workshop. Seraphim saw the supply thief. Bliss looks between the two of you with a raised eyebrow. From the way you are talking, I'm assuming it's not human. It's something small and dark, something fast. Seraphim looks at Bliss. We're going to lock up the supplies to drive it out. Bliss looks at Seraphim. If it's an animal, we don't want to make it any more scared and desperate than it already is. How about we lock up the supplies, but leave some out in a special place? Try to bait it. And then grab it. Seraphim mimes the act. No. Bliss looks between the two of you. You show it that it has nothing to fear. We tame it. It didn't seem very tameable. Seraphim rubs his sore ribs. Plus, we've already wasted enough supplies on this thing. You want to give it more? Seraphim turns to you. What do you think, Sleeper? You look between the two of them, still processing the strange situation you find yourself in. Let's try to tame it. Seraphim sighs. What a waste. Alright, Bliss nods. You'll have to come down to the supply store every few cycles to put out some more food. That way, it won't get desperate and do anything dangerous. And I'll lock the supplies up tight. Seraphim folds his arms. It won't get into them anymore. The plan is set. Bliss and Seraphim leave the berth, heading in separate directions. You watch them go. It seems your ship has a stowaway The question is, how will you deal with it? Flotsam, it's you. A familiar voice echoes down the tunnel behind you. Femi! You turn in the passage to see Femi towering over you. He shakes his head. This just keeps getting better. It's been a while, Femi. Yeah, I guess. He frowns and glances over his shoulder. Remember Nia? That sister of mine you thought you'd take on a contract? Well, she's taken some inspiration from your little trip. You can see anger burning in Femi's eyes, but there's a tiredness there too. He folds his arms across his broad chest. The cymbal crash has been in repair since we got out of Hexford. Caught up in that whole mess, Femi sighs. So then, stuck here, she gets bored and decides to sign up with another crew, take a job. I said no, and she went away. Femi glares at you. What's that to do with me? Now, what happened at Hexford? No idea. There was some kind of alert, but we were already on our way out. Didn't give it much thought. Then the whole place went up. Femi looks away. Been at the Scudder Yards ever since, till we came here, that is. Cymbal crash. Can't leave right now. I'm halfway through rewiring the damn thing. Something else Nia was supposed to do. I asked around. Turns out Nia signed on with some idiots heading out to Cutter's End. Femi says the name with an emphasis you can't place. They are as green as you, meaning they have no idea what they're doing going out to a place like that. So you, Femi jabs your chest with a finger, are gonna take me out there to go get her. I'll show you the way. She knows what she's doing. Even if she does, the crew she's with sure as hell don't. Femi frowns. We're not leaving it to chance. Look, I know how these things go. I've got chits. I can pay. Femi grimaces. Can't pay for the parts the cymbal crash needs when no one sells them anyway. 250 cryo. Femi folds his arms across his chest. No bargaining. In the meantime, I'm going to try to get the cymbal crash ready to make the run herself. Okay, he sighs. At the shape she's in, it's not the best idea to head out there alone. You suddenly see the desperation in his eyes. He would risk everything for Nia. I'll be waiting. We need to head out soon. Femi grips your shoulder. Don't test my patience. Femi kicks off and glides back along the passage towards his ship. And don't even think about skipping out of Flotsam without me. He calls back to you. Then we're really done. Do we have time? We do have time. Yeah, we'll help him. Meet cadet at the Scudder Yards. Oops. Alright, we're gonna help Femi for sure. The narrow escape. So what can we do to make money? Flotsam integration is where we could get scrap if we get positive. Raw scrap? A cryo. Use energy, that's fine. Why not? Nice. So we need to just go with him. Femi seems ready to take a crippled ship out of Cutter's End. Only you can save him from himself, so he'll definitely die if we don't. Lane is back on your trail with a renewed intensity. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I see. As long as you keep moving, you won't have to face him again. Still -3 per cycle though. What was that? What was this? Rig, supply, store. Stowaway's hunger. Seraphim wanted to provoke the stowaway into revealing itself. If it gets hungry enough, it might just do that. I have no supplies. Where do I get supplies? Yeah. So first things first, fill the fuel. And this is where we get supplies. 75 to fill supplies. Yeah, we will look after this thing. Totally fine. Yeah, all good. So we're gonna rest. We're gonna feed that. It's definitely the cat. We're gonna feed the cat. And then we'll wait until the 3rd cycle and then go out. Let me make sure I know how to do that. Yep, cutter's end. Extract near. Yeah, we're good.